I always told people, they say, is that a hobby? Well, it's not a hobby. It's what I love to do. Welcome. 1979, young guy, loving music, coming from a musical family background. One day, my buddy called me up and he said, hey man, turn to, I think it was 1390 AM, Purpose Span the Blues, man. Famous Chicago DJ on the airwaves. They used to play mixes. And I'm hearing this music, it's non-stop. You know, they blending records together, mixing music, and I called him back. I said, hey man, we need to check that out. So a week went past. His mom bought him a component set, and he had the turntable on one speaker, and he had the tape deck on another speaker. So I grabbed some of my mom's old albums, and we recorded them. And so we said, well, let's blend them. And so we started recording, and next thing you know, we took turns on blending both the records, the same record, together, and we got an effect, a sound effect, which we named it was phasing, which it added a different sound to the music. And so we decided to, okay, let's take this other record and bring them in, you know, back to back. Let's bring this in on top of this record and see how it sounds. Well, lo and behold, we figured out how to mix. Our first record shop was Loop Records on Wabash, was downtown. It was like a famous DJ spot where everybody went, you know. And we just bought records like going crazy. And we would work with this one little system for about 6 months, almost a year. Until he bought a turntable, I bought a turntable. We went to Loop Electronics downtown by the Chicago Theater. And he purchased a mixer, Gemini. So we had the records, and next thing you know, 5 hours later, we were in there mixing in his bedroom, and that's how I got into it. And it was non-stop after that. So it was different things. We were like mad scientists. You know, summertime, kids out playing ball or whatever. We were stuck in his bedroom into our music, like Biz Markie said. She thought I wanted to keep it instead of trying to use it. Well, yeah, we passed up a lot of girls, but we were also developing a craft, which now today is, you know, I can't explain it. It's beautiful. From then on, get out of grammar school, go to high school, meet other people. I see these guys, they DJing. I'm like, okay. Little did they know I can do the same thing. I can see that light beyond this storm. I'm strong. So after listening, I would go home, put the books down, no homework. Learning how to get my craft tight was my homework. So then they opened up this club on 13th and Michigan. It was called The Playground. So a buddy of mine was like, hey man, I was coming home from the show and I seen a lot of people outside this club. It's called The Playground. Let's go down there. I was skeptical. I was like, nah. And then knowing that my mom wouldn't approve of me staying out late, you know. So one day, I said, forget it. We're going to go down there. I'm going to see what this is about. Blew my mind. It was actually a real club. You know, we get there. I'm seeing all these people just jumping around, dancing, you know, having fun. So I'm like, where's the DJ? They had this big old DJ booth. I would stand there for hours. That's all I did. I just watched the DJs. Didn't didn't do anything. Just watch the DJs, checking them out, seeing what they doing, how they spin the records back, seeing how they track the record with the needle, and they get right on it, scratching. And so after going there so many times, each time I got home, that Sunday, I would try the same thing that they were doing. And as I'm doing this, I'm learning. I'm like, oh wow, okay, so this is how I'm figuring stuff out without even talking to these guys. The main DJs that I would study was Jesse Saunders, Farley Keith, Steve Silk Hurley. Those are like my first teachers, okay? Them not knowing there's a kid over here on the south side, picking up y'all work, checking you guys out. And so then after that, I mastered repeating records, scratching. I was determined to be like Farley Keith and Steve Silk Hurley because they were the best to me. And so I was introduced to this other party, this Lower Wacker Drive downtown. It's called a Music Box. This guy, first time there, I'm going in, I'm like, oh, same old thing. People just partying. There's love all in the air. And it was like, okay, let me check this guy out. Well, his craft was smooth. His name was Ron Hardy. Each time I would go to that party, I would spend at least 3 hours checking him out. His DJ booth was made like a record store. He had everything in there. So I would take these 4 guys and incorporate it into my skills and what I was learning, and I would come out with nice mixes. It was hard in the beginning because when you're recording on cassette, you want to try to do that whole 90 minutes without any flaws. But I would have flaws, it takes time. And once I got it, I was dangerous. Everybody knew what we were doing, except we didn't have the white coats on, walking around like doctors, One day I had a little summer job, went to work, came home for lunch, and my equipment was missing out the bedroom. They broke into our house, stole my equipment, and I literally was crushed, So I stopped. I bawled my eyes out because I didn't have any money to replace this stuff. I worked at my grandma's restaurant, peeling potatoes, and I would save up my money. So in any case, after that, I just stopped. I'm not going to be able to get this equipment again. And I didn't know too many people that had equipment. So it was like, okay, I just went on with life. Until I met my buddy Larry. Larry, that's the one that brought me back out. We were hanging out at the point, and he was like, hey man, I'm trying to get into this mixing thing. I was like, oh yeah? Oh, okay. I said, hey man, well, I know how to mix. And they gave me the funniest look, like, he just talking. So I was like, okay. So one day he invited me over, and he was doing something, and I said, hey man, do it like this. Use the top levels instead of the crossfader. You get a better blend. And I learned that from Ron Hardy. And he was like, wow, yeah, you're right, man. I sat back for years timing beats per minute on records and labeling records and setting things up. Well, after you get good with it, you don't have to do that because you already know. You know your records, you know your cuts. Like me, I don't remember the name of them, but I know what to play. So I got on and I just blew them away, you know. And I looked at them, I was like, wow, I think they didn't believe me. What I was telling them, that I knew I knew how to do. And you know, from there we just clicked, and it was like he would call me, hey, we having a jam session. That's when the jam sessions first started. Everybody, I would bring speakers, another guy would bring a turntable, tape deck. We would all pull our equipment together and have a ball for hours. 5 in the morning, and we just now getting tired because we've been mixing. We've made about 10 tapes from the A and B side. And so that's how it all came about. And now today, you know, I'm just a underground DJ. When I first started DJing parties was on 63rd in Michigan, Vista Gardens. And the very first time we played there, it was Eugene, Mike, and me. When I first got on, I was nervous as shit. You know, this rec room was packed with people, and when I got on, my hands was trembling. You know, I'm like, oh wow, man, I'm nervous? Oh wow. Never been nervous like that before. I'm like, oh boy, I gotta have my ball game together. So I dropped the needle on the record, started playing, and people, they just went, wow. I think I started out with Big Freak. I'm a big freak. I'm a big freak. And they went nuts. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, I gotta keep this up. By the 5th record, I had the crowd. And that was a feeling like no other. I would play I'm Hungry, which is a popular Italian cut. I would do it at home. I would repeat at home. I never did it in public. I never did it in front of a crowd. The first time I did it, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. They went nuts. And Michael looked at me and I looked at Michael. Man, pump that shit. And it was on, man. So, after that first party, towards the end of the party, people were like, you guys gonna be back? And I'm looking at Eugene like, dude, this is your crowd. And he looked at us like, nah, man, this is our crowd. And it was on from there. We would take the bus, and we would have to wait for that 63rd Street bus, which took too long. So we would just walk to the building. From King Drive to Michigan, a nice little walk, when you're carrying like damn near 100 pounds of records, you know, in the bag. So guys, you know, they would see us from the projects and them going to the store up on King Drive. Hey, y'all DJing tonight? Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to be at that party. That's a live party. And we looked at each other like, whoa, I think we really do have a crowd. They had to stop letting people in because this was a hot party on the south side, house music, in the apartment building, in the rec room. Well, what we called back then, we called it the lab. So we resorted back to the lab. Had nothing but jam sessions, you know. Someone's birthday came up, you know, we get the equipment, we put it together, and we have a little party, you know. That's pretty much how I got started. Everyone likes to do something that they love to do and make a career out of it. Well, unfortunately, I had school and I had to work, so that was something I couldn't turn into a business. I think I could have, but hey, who knows? Play to the day I die. Peace.